Okay, good evening. So let's start our classes today. Uh, so we'll talk about Flash Fill first. So Flash Fill is something. It's so we know how to fill the data, right? So we drag. So let's say you type one, 2, and 3. So it'll. So if you select this and drag this, you'll get the sequential numbers, right? Something like this. Okay, so you'll be able to split uh, your your first name and last name automatically, so we don't have to type any formula, specific formulas for using this. So let's see how to do this. So let's create a new Excel. Okay, okay, Excel. So we'll just copy. So we'll have the full name here. Full name. So we have to split into first and last name. Okay, so we will be able to do this without using any formula. So that's a specialty of Flash. So you don't have to type any formulas, you just have to select the data and click Flash Fill. So let's see how to do it. So I'll copy this data. So first we have to give a sample data. So if you see if you want to split into first name and last name, right? So in the first column, first row, the first name is Robert and the second name is Ravi Kumar. So first you have to fill the first name. So if you see this, now if you drag it, right, you'll have Robert copied all over. But you don't want this result. So you want to split every name. You want to split every first name. So you want to get Robert, Janice, Mabel, John, Jack, and Michael. Okay, so to do that, there is something called Flash Fill. Okay, so click on Autofill options. So once you do that, you will have this option. So click on Autofill options, click Flash Fill. Now you can see the first name and last name separated. So Excel automatically knows what to do. So based on the sample data we have entered first on the first column. So let's see how to get the last name now. So all we are going to do is we are not going to do any formula. So we are just going to give only an uh, sample data. So using the sample data, Excel is going to fill all the other rows. So drag it, you will have all Ravi Kumar again. So go to Flash Fill, click Flash Fill, and you will see the last name separated from the first name. So if you see all the last names comes here and the first name separated. So this is Flash Fill. So the advantage of using Flash Fill is you don't have to type any formulas. You just have to give a sample data, enter a sample data, and then you can drag it down, and you will have your data populated right from some other column. So this is the first example. Okay, so we'll see more examples on this. Okay, um, so we'll take this example. So there are a list of names and I want to give it to the get a proper case for it. So let's say we have all these things, right? So here, see, I want to get the first name and the last name with both caps letters. So I want to see R with the caps and second letter also is caps. So if you see here, Janice Rachel, right? So you'll have J caps and R small. And Mabel Pauline, you'll have both small. So for all the examples, I want to get the names, first letter of the names in caps letter. So first I have to give the sample. So now enter the sample data with proper caps letter. So now all I have to do is control down and click Flash Fill. So now you will see all the letters caps in caps letter. So if you see R is turned into caps letter, so J R is caps. Mabel Pollen, both the letters are caps. So that's it. So you don't have to do anything else other than use Flash Fill. So Flash Fill automatically knows what to do with the data based on the sample data provided. Okay, So any questions in this? So இதெல்லாம் புரிஞ்சிச்சா உங்களுக்கு இல்ல திருப்பி சொல்லணுமா? Okay. So we'll see some more examples on this flash fill. Okay. So yeah. Mm, So so let's say there is some company and so the usually in companies, right? So you will have the email IDs in using the first name and last name separated by a dot. So we're going to form the same. Okay. So if you look at this example, so first, so if you work in a company, your email ID, official email ID will be always like this. So you will have your first name and you will have your second name up under the separated by a dot and at techworks.com. Okay. So if you want to say do the thing right, so instead of dragging it down, there is a shortcut to do. So if you press Control E, so I press Control E and you will have the data populated. So flash fill, there's another shortcut to do it. So instead of dragging it down and selecting the option from the options provided, we can use the shortcut Control E. So if you see again, so I didn't do anything. I didn't drag down or I didn't select flash fill or anything else. So I just pressed Control E in the keyboard and you will see the email ID is generated automatically. So this is another example. So this is another way of doing flash fill. So we'll see more examples. Okay, so we'll take this example. So I want to just to get in this example, I just want to get the initials of all the names. So it's Robert Rovingmar RR, Janice Rachel JR, Mabel Pollen MP. So I just want to get the initials. I don't want to get the whole name. So there is a shortcut to do. So RR, and also you can do it from here. Okay. Insert, mm, okay, here it is. Okay, so there's a kind of option. So in under home, under editing ribbon, there is a option called fill. Okay, so click on it and click flash fill. So now you see it's not getting the data properly. See if it's Janice Rachel, it's Mabel Pollen. The formula given, I mean, it didn't correctly form the data. So what we can do here is we can give another example. So for it to analyze the data properly. So now we are given another sample, and if you see home and fill flash fill, this time it should be right. So now you see MP, JA, JB, MK. So it has populated the initials properly. So sometimes it won't work. So all we have to do is give another sample and it will be helpful for Excel to uh, identify the appropriate sequence or appropriate way to create the expected result. So this can be done. Okay, this is one example. So okay, then yeah, okay. So so we saw an example, right? We saw how to split the name into first name and last name. So now we can see uh, how to concatenate the name. So usually what we do is we write a formula. Hello, so Bhaskaran. Okay, okay. So first name, last name. Okay, full name. So in the previous example, we saw how to split the name into first name and last name. But now we are trying to concat. the name. So we are not using any concat formula. So usually what we do is concat, and we'll give the cell reference A1, comma A2. So this will concatenate Robert Ravigmar, and also we have to add an add space, right? So what we do, okay, yeah. So this is how we do it usually. So we use a formula, so we don't have to do all these things. So what we are doing is first give an example, okay, Robert Ravikumar, and now if you drag down and click flash fill, so now you can see the data populated. So this is how you concatenate. So this is another example of how we use flash fill. So like this, flash fill can be used for many a lot of scenarios. Okay, so we'll go through some more scenarios also. Okay, see this one, right? So we have a list of products, and each of them is tagged to who's going to use it. So it might be a woman or a man. So watch hyphen W, it sends to W, right? It is going to be used by a woman. So shirt is used by a man. Okay. So this is an example. So we have to find the gender who is going to use it. So we can give an example like W, and we can see whether it works. I guess it won't work. So it's not working. Okay. It doesn't get the appropriate formula. So what we are going to do is delete it. Give another sample. Okay, so let's try this time. Okay, control E. So now you can see it properly found the sequence, and it's now able to segregate whether it's going to be used by man or a woman. So you can see W W M W M W. So now so sometimes it won't work, and all we have to do is give some more examples, and to make sure that it identifies a proper way to get the expected result. So any doubts in this up to this? So any questions on the flash fill we discussed till now? Okay, so we'll see another example also. uh, So now we are going to separate the date of row. So usually what we do, we are going to get the year out of this all the dates. Okay. So we have so many years, and usually what we do is must be some formula, right? Year year of I think this one. So now we get 229, and we can drag it, and we will get all the years. So we don't have to do all these things. So we'll delete all those things. So we'll just type the year, and just drag it down and click flash fill. So now you see the year is populated appropriately. So so these are advantages of using flash fill. So you don't have to type on formula. So there is some disadvantage that comes with flash fill. Okay. So let's say the formula. So when we are using formulas, when we change the source data, it always changes the results. Okay, so for example, okay, uh, maybe I'll give an example. Okay, control C, control V. So let's say we'll use a formula to form the dates. Okay, form the this thing. கதவெல்லாம் பூட்டிட்டு போங்க. கதவெல்லாம் பூட்டு போங்க. So if you see this example, right? So when we change the source data, so it could be, I can change anything and you will see the data also changes here. But when you use flash fill, right, you won't see the changes here. See, now the actual data is not set. So that's the only disadvantage of using flash fills. So you won't be able to dynamically change the data. So whatever you change here, right, you won't see the last name or first name automatically change. So once the data is generated, you won't be able to change anything. So that is done. Okay, so that's a disadvantage of using flash fill. So in those scenarios where the data is dynamically changed, you cannot go with flash fills. Okay, so that's the difference between using a formula and a flash fill. So any questions in this? You want to ask something, or you want to refresh, or shall we move on to the next chapter? Okay. So we'll discuss about dget today. Okay, so dget is something like VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP we seen last week. So it's a bit similar, but the difference between XLOOKUP and VLOOKUP is uh, XLOOKUP or VLOOKUP, we can go from the your source data should be on the left side, always on the left column. But this one we can move left or right, or whichever direction we want. Okay, so this is one advantage of using dget. And better we'll start with the examples first. Okay, so this is going to be a sample data, and I want to find the uh, so name of the person who is working in north and sales department. Okay, so if you want to see that, so is equal to dget. So select the database. So the database is nothing but a set of rows or records, set of data where we are going to work. Okay, so database should be the whole things from division A to all the set. So this will be our data database. Okay, so comma. So field name. So what we are going to get, we are going to get trained. We are getting to get the department. Sorry, we are going to get the department. So department is one first, second column. First column is this one, division. Second column is department. Third column is name. Okay. uh, so we are going to get the field department. So department lies in the second column, so gives 2 comma criteria. So criteria uh, should be the third. Criteria should be the third column. So sorry, yeah. Okay. So sorry. So we are going to find the name. Okay. So name, and we are going to give the. I mean, we are going to find this. Um, okay, sorry. Yeah. So what we're trying to do is we are trying to using dget. We are going to trying to get the department of Robert Ravikumar. Okay. So what we are going to do is equal to uh, dget. So select the database. Okay. So this one comma get the field. So the field is we are going to find the department, right? So we're going to find the department of Robert Ragma. So field is second column. So first column is division, second column is department, third column is name. Okay, so the field should be second column, right? Department comma, and we are going to give the criteria. So criteria should be uh, on which so whose record we are going to find. So on which basis we are going to filter the data. So we are going to filter the data based on the name and the name Robert Ravigma. So you can choose this. Okay, so click, choose this, close a bracket, and you should see the department of Robert Ravigma. So now you can, now based on the criteria name Robert Ravi Kumar, we have got the IT department based on the column we have selected. So this is how dget works. Okay, so this is department, right? If you want to get the so division, so division, okay, so division, so we what we are going to give is dget of first you have to select the database. So the same formula, so click on select the data, comma field, so field division should be first column, right, comma, and based on the criteria G1 G2, so close the bracket and we'll get the division of the particular employee. So that's how you get the use dget functions. So any doubts in this so any doubts in dget function, you understood these things? Okay, so yep. So maybe we'll see about offsets. Okay, so we'll move on to the next topic, offset. Okay. So let's say we have some data 1A, 2B, 3C, 4, 4D. Okay, so uh, so offset, we are going to get some data based on some reference cell. So let's say the reference cell is 1. So from this cell we are going to find the value C. So let's say we want to find C. What we have to do is move from the reference cell A1, we have to move 2 columns down and 1 column right. So we move from 1 to 2, 1 and 2, so come here and 2. So we have to move 2 columns down and 1 column right. So when the cell reference is A1, so now we'll try to find C. Okay, so is equal to from the cell reference. So there is a function called offset, and so reference cell is A1. So from this cell we are going to find the cell C, comma, how many rows we have to move down? We have to move down 2 rows. Okay, so we have to move down one, first 2 and then 3. Okay, so we have to move down 2 rows and 1 column to the right. Yeah, C is just 1 column to the right. So close it, you will get C. So if you want to find D from the same cell reference A1, so we have to move 3 columns and comma 3 columns, 3 rows down and 1 column to the right, and you should see D. So if you want to find A offset, so anybody can answer this. So I want to find A. So somebody can answer this. So anybody is interested in answering this? கனகராஜ், முனீஸ்வரன், யாராவது சொல்லுவீங்களா? புரிஞ்சிச்சா? Okay, so cell reference from A1, and we have to find A, right? So we are not going to move any rows, so we'll give 0. And columns, the columns we are going to move just one column, right? 0 comma columns is 1, okay, comma 1. So now we found A. So similarly we can find we can move around any column and find a particular value. So offset is nothing but it moves horizontally, vertically, on a predefined number of steps, okay. So this, all these examples we did based on the cell reference of A1. So let's say I want to find for the cell reference A4, right? So we have 4 here. So let's say I select cell reference is A4. So from A4 I'm going to find A, okay. So what should we have to do? So we have to move upwards. So we have to move upwards 3 steps. So we have to move 3 to 1 and one column to the right, right? So what we have to do is we can give negative numbers here. So minus 3 comma 1. So this should give you A. So if you want to find B, same thing, offset cell reference A4 comma number of rows minus 2 comma 1. So this should give you B. So from anywhere you can move anywhere. So you can use negative numbers to move upward or move left. So to right and to move bottom, we can use positive numbers. So that's how you select numbers using offsets. Okay. So any doubts on offset? So let's say if you want to find all these things, so on all these examples we just saw one, we just took only one cell, right? So instead of that I want to select 2 3 4 and BCD. How can we do that? So we can do it offset. So we can have a table of data that can be selected. So let's say we have offset and cell reference is A1. Let's say select L as A1 comma uh, so we have to get rows, right? So we'll move one row bottom, and we don't have to move any columns. So 0, height is 3, width is 2. So we'll see another example on offsets. We'll copy the data. So now we have this sales data. So we have the months, all the months, and we have the division. So where the sales has been done. Okay. So So if you want to find in the July month how much East have done, East sales have done, we can use some offsets. Okay, so is equal to offset. So we'll take the reference as month. So the first thing, number of rows, July 1, 2, 3, 4. July should be seven rows down and four columns. So it should be from here 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it should be four columns. You you can get this data. So from July East, the sales has been this number 23434. Okay. So if you want, maybe we'll give another example. So July, maybe we'll take May South. Okay. If you want to find May South, offset could be from rel reference month. Come on, number of rows. May is 5 rows down. Come on, 5. And south is two columns from May, right? So one. So one first column, second column. Okay. So is equal to offset. Cell reference is month. Number of rows is 5 down and two columns to the right. Okay, so now we'll find May South 234. Yeah. So this is what we intend to find, right? So May South, the sales has been 34. So let's say that I want to find the total number of sales on the month of September. Okay, so we try to add all these things. Okay, so let's say is equal to sum of, so the stole sales has been 1936. So I want to find it using offset formula. Okay, sum of sales September. Okay, so we have to first, so the first thing is we have to use nested formulas here. So is equal to, so sum is sum. So now we have to use offset to select all the records. Okay, so reference, let's say month, and so number of rows down. So say September, right? It is 9 rows down, and number of columns is uh, I think okay. What's first column? So for the first column, this one, so we have to give the height and width of all the columns. Okay, so height is only one. So we are going to only select only one row, right? So we just want to identify this row, right? So the height should be one. Okay, one, and the width should be four. Four columns, right? Yep. So now we have found the total number of sales from 1936. So what we did is we tried to select all the four records using offset. So instead of selecting our, in the previous example, we just saw how to select only one row, right? Instead of that, we are trying to select four values, four cells. Uh, and we are summing up all the things. Okay, so if you see this nested formula, right, we are going giving offset. So offset of a1, from a1 we are going 9 steps down, so it comes to September, and we are moving to first column, one column we are moving. So from this we are so this will be the starting cell, and based on the starting cell it will have four one record height. So one record height will be one row height, so it won't have any only one row will be selected, and it will have four columns, so it will have all the four columns selected from this cell. So you will have the addition of all these records. So let's say if you want to find the total total of all the east columns. Okay, so let's say we want to find sum of, so we are trying to find the sum of all these things. Okay, so we'll give a random number here. Okay, so we want to find 2858 using offset. So total of east. Okay, so we are using to find the identify get the total number of all the sales using this formula. Okay, so first we have to identify this cell, and then we have to choose all the cells based on this cell reference. Okay, so we have to use offset to identify the selected highlighted cells. Okay, and find the addition. So what we're going to do is again the same thing, is equal to sum, is equal to sum, and use a nested formula offset reference. So we'll give this reference month, and we are going one down. So since 345 is only in January, right? So we'll go down one row, and we'll go to the fourth column. So north, south, west, and east is fourth column. Okay, fourth. And from there we have to select the height. So height should be 12. So January to February there are 12 months, right? So height should be 12, and the width should be only 1. Yes. So now you can see how we calculated the total number by using offsets. So any doubts in this using offsets? How we used it? Any doubts, or you want to ask me? Okay. Yeah, that's all about offsets. So we saw offsets, and how to refer a single cell, or a table of cells, or an array of cells. We can do it, right? So this is one thing. And yeah, maybe we'll do the same example. So let's say we'll find the total of west using the cell reference December. Okay, so instead of taking the cell reference as month, we will try to use this formula. Okay, so sum of uh, offset and cell reference we are selecting as December instead of month. Usually we select, right? We give the cell reference A13. Now we want to find the total of east. Okay, so east is 4 columns. Okay, first we are not moving any rows, so 0. We are going to find the same row from the same row. So this 132 lies in the same row, so give 0. And columns should be, okay, 4 columns, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So fourth column we have 132, so give 4. Can we give minus height? So yep. So minus negative numbers can be used for height and width also. So if we used this is so we just formed the total of east, but we used different references. So first example we took references month, and we found the total. So now we use a reference as December, and we found the total. So there is a difference. So the cell reference is different, and the height and width we are giving in negative numbers. So this is how we use cell references. So and this is the major difference between VLOOKUP and offset. So offsets, we cannot, I mean VLOOKUP we cannot give negative values, and always the record should be at the uh, right. So when you use VLOOKUP, right, so we can have the left to most cell, and from left we can move to the right, but we cannot have a from the right cell, and we cannot look for the left records. So if you maybe will give an example, VLOOKUP, right? So lookup table will give this. So yeah, that's it about offsets. Okay. Um, we'll move on to the next example. There's something called data forms. Okay. So data forms. Okay. So let's say we want to enter some data, and so let's say we have a registration form. Okay. So registration form for some event, and so we should give first name, uh, first name, last name, um, first name, last name, uh, country, age, okay, sex. Okay. So so this is a registration form. So I want to enter some data. Robert Ravi Kumar. So country should be India. Age 35. Sex is male. Okay. So I want to fill some data. So I want to fill maybe Janice, Rachel. She's also from India and 5 years old and a female. So similarly, we can have we have to enter so much of data. So we cannot instead of entering line by line, we can have forms to fill up the data. So if you go here, right, options. First, let's remove this. So there is something called forms, okay, in the quick access toolbar. So this is a quick access toolbar, and if you look here, we don't have forms. So forms, data entry form we don't usually use, so it won't be available in quick access forms. So what we have to do is first we have to add the form quick form option in the quick access bar. So it won't be found in any of the ribbons, okay. So what we have to do is we have to add in the quick access toolbar. Go to quick access toolbar. There is something called more commands. So click on more commands, and there is something called popular commands and a lot of things. Okay, so commands not in the ribbon or all commands. You can select any one of these. Okay, maybe we'll choose all commands and drag down and see if so form. Okay, so we have forms here. So what we are going to do is add it to the quick access toolbar. So we click right and click OK. You should see another icon formed, and this is called a form. Okay, so now we can use form. Yeah, that's it. So when we select any data, right, click it, and you'll see a form selected. So there are two records. So one is Robert and one is Janice. So we can move through records using this option. So if you want to add a new record, right, click new, and you can say John Abraham. Okay. And country, he could be Singapore, age 45, 6, male. Okay. So click enter, you will see the data automatically populated in the form. Okay, so we don't the option the so you can see the data is automatically populated, right? So this is how we use forms. So you don't have to type in all the data. So I mean, you have to type in, but you will have in a proper format. Okay, and this is one option. And if you want to delete any records, you can do that. Go up. So I just if you don't want Janice, right? So you will have Robert and click down. You will have Janice. So delete it. Displayed record will be permanent deleted. Click OK and you will see the data gone. So this is one thing. So find next, find previous, all these options are here. And another option is there. Okay, there is an option called criteria. So when we click criteria, right? And I want to find and by first name. So I want to find John. Find the next criteria. Okay. Okay, sorry. First name should be John, right? So now you'll see John Abraham automatically formed out. I mean found out. So you'll so when we have a lot of records, right? This comes in handy. So you can use the criteria search to search for any record. So if you want to find an guy with 45 years age, okay. So 45. Find next. You will have John Abraham again. So if there are two guys with maybe John Michael. So if you have two guys with the same age, okay. So if you want to find criteria, right? Let's say 45. So find next. Find next. You will have Michael Keaton. So find previous. You will have them previously moved. Okay. So this is how we do data entry using forms. Okay. So if you want, we can create a table also if you want. Home. There is a table option. Okay, table. My table has address. Okay, yeah, that's it. So let's say I wanted to do some validation, data validation. So let's say I want to have a date. Okay. Okay. So I want to validate uh, maybe above 18 years only can register for the data. Okay. So let's say we'll add Janice, Rachel, India. She's 5 and female. Okay. And if we don't want to some people with let's say age to be registered, we can use data validation. So we learned about data validation long before, right? So click on this thing, uh, go to insert data, sorry, go to data ribbon for here data validation. So we'll choose whole number greater than 18. Okay, so click OK and you will see an error on this thing. So if you see here, it's an error, data validation error. So let's say you come here, right? So let's say you want to find a new data, add a new data. Mm, so Thomas, South Africa. Okay, so 12 and male. So you will have an error. So if you don't want to data to be entered, right? Maybe we can do some validations. Uh, data, data validation. We'll try to add the data validation to the whole. Yes. Okay. So now you can see errors in all the columns. So this is how we do a data validation on the form itself. Okay. Mm, very nice. See now, while typing itself, we got the error. Since we set the data validation on the table itself. So on a table level, we don't allow to enter. Okay. So retry. It won't allow you to enter until you give the appropriate value. Okay. So since the data is an error, so what we have done is we have set the data validation at the table level to a particular column. So if you see here, right, there is already a data validation done. So go to data validation, and see. So we have set the for this table. So we have created a table for this, right? So for this table, we are allowing only characters who's greater than 18. So these things are already entered, so it doesn't throw an error, but it shows that there is an error. But when you try to add a new data, right, it throws an error saying enter valid. I mean, let's say you are too small to register. Okay, so people who are not adults cannot be registered. So what we're trying to do is click on this new. So let's say Serena Williams. Okay, country Cuba. Okay, so she's 13 years old and female. And click enter. You you're too small to register. That means we have not allowed them to register. When you click cancel, you won't see the data to be added to the table. So until you give the proper data, right? Until you give 19 and click enter, you won't see the data populated. What happened? Something wrong. So Serena. Okay, if you want to edit any data, right, we can go there and select the data. Okay, so if you want to, so if you want to enter edit our data, we can do that. Click enter. Okay, so okay, this is how you do data validation on a form. Okay, so this is how you do it. Maybe we'll add another table. Okay, so maybe if you, so this is already a table, right? Maybe now I want to add an option to say uh, what to say. So maybe we'll add a date validation. Okay, so maybe we'll register only for the year 2020. Okay, so year, let's say year, and we'll do a validation on that. So click on this thing, click on this column name, go to data, data validation, settings, click date. Okay, so date between 1 1 2020 to 31 12 2020. So this is the date between the year, I mean this is all the dates within the year 20, 1st January 2020 to 31st December 2020. So you cannot select any dates beyond those years. So you cannot select any date between in 2018 or 2022. Okay, so click OK. So we'll say we'll stop it. Okay, we'll stay date, enter. So we'll say enter and date in the year 2020. Okay, enter add date. Okay, so click OK. Let's say we want to add a new column. Okay, this kind of link. Okay, so we'll say new, we'll say we'll say Tom Hollands. Okay, so he's from Dubai. He's from UAE. Okay, so he is 19 years old and sex is male, and we'll give the date 1 1 2018. Now when we type enter, we should see an error ideally, and we got it. So enter a date in the year 2020. So it's not allowing to enter the date uh, beyond any of those dates. Okay, so if you give so 1/12/2020, you give 2020, right, it will allow you to enter a data. Okay, what happened? So it's not allowing to enter 2019. So maybe for Serena we'll give 1/12/2020. So if you see here, we don't have the date, and it should be populated now. So 1/12/20 because it's a valid date. Yep. Okay. So that's it on data forms also. So we'll still have 20 minutes. So criteria, maybe criteria will do. So we'll find all the people in India, INDIA. Okay, so find next. So Janice is from India. Okay, find next. Find previous. So Robert is from India. So that's it. So you can iterate through the rows using this option here. and you can delete or restore any values. So find next, close. Yeah, so that's it on data forms also. So I've covered all the topics for the day. So any doubts in this, or shall we do a recap on all the things we discussed now? Any doubts you want to ask, or shall I go through the examples again? முனீஸ்வரன், என்ன பண்ணலாம்?
மறுபடியும் கொஞ்சம் அதே டைம் இருக்குன்னா மறுபடியும் இது பண்ணுங்க.
ஓகே, ஏதாவது ஸ்பெசிஃபிக் டவுட்ஸ் இருக்கா கேட்கறதுக்கு? எல்லாம் ஃபர்ஸ்ட்லேருந்து ஃபுல்லாக சொல்லிட்டா?
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து சொன்னேன், ஏன்னா நான் போன வாரமும் இல்லை அதில்.
போன வாரத்துக்கு சம்மந்தம் இல்லை, பட் ஓகே, எனிவே நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட்லேருந்து சொல்கிறேன். ஓகே, ஸோ again we'll start from the first. Okay, so today we discussed about discussed 4 topics. Okay, we discussed flash fill, dget, offset, and data forms. And so flash fill is used to fill some data, and so instead of using formulas, it's easy to use flash fill to populate some data. So that's it. Dget is used to get any records from an from a database kind of a cell. So from a table of data, you can find dgets using a specific criteria. So that's about dgets. So offset is uh, something like a VLOOKUP, but the difference between VLOOKUP and lookups and offset is lookups always refers to the leftmost data in the table, but VLOOKUP we can have a reference cell anywhere, and we can move in any direction. So using negative values also we can use in data offset. So that is one thing. So data forms uh, is is a form using which we can enter some data. So instead of using that excel sheet, we can have a pop up with some forms, and some data validation also can be added before entering some data. Okay, so this is one thing. So okay, okay, we'll go in deeper. Okay, so flash fill. Okay, maybe we'll delete all those things. So the first example we saw in flash fill was how to split the first name alone. Okay, so for that we give an example and drag it down. You will have Robert again and again populated because we have selected only Robert. But using flash fill, right? Click on flash fill, you will see all the other names populated. So this is an example. And another thing about flash fills, right? You should have the data only here. So let's say I have a Robert here, and if I drag it down and say flash fill, right? It cannot do it because it doesn't know which cell to be flash, which cell is taken as reference. So it should be always adjacent rows. Okay, so if you have Ravi Kumar here, right, and drag down, click flash fill, you will have the second name populated automatically. So you don't have to do any formulas to split that first name and last name. You just have to give in some sample data, and using the sample data, uh, Excel will derive the data automatically. So the one disadvantage of using flash fill is when you change, right, the data won't be selected. I mean, changed automatically. So, but in when using formulas, the data will be automatically changed when you change the source data. So this is one disadvantage of using flash fills. So all we have to do is find the right place to use flash fills. Okay, so this is one thing. And okay, we talk about proper case, right? The second example we saw is proper case. So here we see Robert, R small, Robert small, and R caps here. Janice, J caps here, R small here. Mabel, both are small here. So I don't want these things. So I want to form the uh, capital letter for all the things. Okay. Okay. So I give caps. Okay. I type caps letters, and we have a shortcut for the scope. Plus Control E. Control E, you will have the populated. You will have the data populated with the caps letter with the capital letter automatically. So even if you don't have capital letter names here, you will have the capital letter names populated here. So with the proper casing, it's auto populated. So using the shortcut key Control E. Okay. So this is one thing. So then we saw about emails. Okay. So emails also same thing. Okay. So we type. So we have space separator names here. So we'll give an example for Robert dot Ravi Kumar at techworks.com. Okay, so now there is another way to do another shortcut, right? We saw somewhere control the in the home ribbon. There is an editing option. Under editing option, go to Flash Fill, and now you should see all the data populated automatically. So there are three ways to use Flash Fill. So one, you can use the option that appears here. Okay, so using that option or the pop-up option that appears on the selection, you can do it. Press Control E or use it from the home button. So that's it. So next we'll saw. Okay. So now we'll have to give initials. Okay, so I want to find the initials of all the names. So you do this, press Control E. Control E. Excel is not able to form the data properly, right? So what you do is Control Z and plus J. So give another example. So now we should be able to populate the data properly. So now the initials are formed properly. So this is one thing, and we saw how to concatenate data also. So we have Robert Ravi Kumar here. So we'll give Robert space Ravi Kumar. So what we have done is we have concatenated those dates manually, and press Control E. You should see the data populated automatically. So it has concatenated the first name and the last name using auto using flash fill function. Okay. So this is one thing. Then we'll take an example on some data. So we have a W here. Press Control E. You won't have the name data populated. So Control is it. So give another example. So scarf W. So you will have the name with a hyphen separated automatically. So if you see the products, right, we have watch for woman, scarf for woman, shirt for man, clip for woman, belt for man, comb for woman. So we want to know whether who can use those products. So and it's referred after the hyphen. So what we are given is we are given two samples for Excel to identify the sequence, and based on that, Excel has identified all the gender who can use all those things. So this is one thing. And now we try to find the year for year based on the given set of dates. Okay, so first we give an sample for excel, and then we press control e. Control e, you should get all the data, all the years populated automatically. So maybe if you want to find the months alone, we can do it, maybe control e. So now it gives all the months alone. So plus just give 2, and we'll say control e. It should give all the dates. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 3, 7, all the dates it has given. So that's it about flash fill. Okay, so we'll move to the next chapter, dget. So dget is simple, right? So what we have done is, based on some criteria, we have identifying the uh, data in another cell. Okay, so this is a table. It's called a database. So we are trying to, so we have a name, we have a column name, Robert and Robert Ravikmar. So let's say we are trying to identify the department based on the name. Okay, so if you go and see the formula here, first you have to select the database. So first we have to select the data on which we are going to do the criteria. Okay, so we have selected cells A1 to C7 and A1 to C7. So that is a table of data, and we have to select the field. Okay, so we are trying to find the department. So the department is in the second column. So first column is division, second column is department, third column is name. So we are second say name. Okay, so then we have to given the criteria. So criteria is name, Robert Ravikmar, and we have selected these two rows, which is here, and we are able to find the name. So let's say the criteria, we give name one, right? We get a value wrong. Why? Because it doesn't match with the names here. So it doesn't match with the column name of the name here. So if you give name one also here, right, you should be able to find the department. So these two criteria name and the column database header name should match to when we apply a criteria on a database. So this is one point to be noted. And another thing is, we cannot do drag and those things, so you will have an error here. So that is one disadvantage. Okay, so we cannot use drag and apply to the adjacent next set of records. So that is one advantage disadvantage of using dgets. So we cannot use that. So next offset. Okay, offset. So we saw how to offset, right? So offset is finding a cell based on some cell reference. So from initial point, which is cell reference, we are identifying a certain cell, uh, a certain cell or a group of cells based on some offsets. So offset can be applied at the row level and the column level. So what we are doing here is offset reference is cell a1. From this cell we are moving 2 rows down, 3, and we are moving 1 row to the right. So 2 rows down and 1 column down. So now we should be able to find c. So similarly, we are moving from the cell reference a1. uh, we are moving we are moving 3 rows down and 1 column to the right. So we are finding 1, 2, 3. We will find d. Okay, so similarly we can use from the same row. So we are not offsetting any row, but we are offsetting just a column, so we'll be able to find a. So similarly we can use negative offsets also. So what we are doing is, from cell reference this a4, this one, and we are moving -3 columns. So going with the -1, -2, -3. So -1 here, and to the right 1 column. To 1 column to the right we are moving. So 1 here. So we are finding a. So similarly we can do -2 and 1, and we'll find offset offset of D. Okay, so this is one example. So now using the same offset example, we are going to fetch some sales record of July East. Okay, so from the month of July, we are trying to find the sales record of the East division. Okay, so what we have done is from cell reference month A1, we are moving down 7 columns: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So July, we have got July here, and we are moving 4 columns to the right. If you see the formula 4, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have got 234. So similarly, A152. So from the same cell A1, May South we are going to find. So May is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are going to find the South division sales. So we should find 34 here. So this is offset. So let's say we want to find the sales, sum of sales of September month. So using offsets, we are going to find first four rows, all the rows of the month September, and we are going to add them. So what we are doing here is we are using nested formula. So the first formula we are trying is sum, and offset we are going to from cell reference A1, and we're moving 9 columns down. So sum of September, right? So ninth month. So January, February up to 9 rows down, and find the first cell. North we are finding. So one row to the right. Okay. So from this cell, we are adding optional columns height and width. So height is 0. So since it's only September, right? We are just adding September 1. Okay. And so height is 1, but we want to find 4 columns. We have 4 divisions, right? So we have 4 columns. So we are passing 4 as the width. Okay. And on that we are using that, we are finding the addition of all the sales. So maybe you will find the total of East. Okay, so what we are, so now we have to add all these columns. Okay, we want to find 2858. So what we have done is using the offset month of A1, uh, we are moving one column to the down, one row to the down, and we are going 4 columns to the right. And from here we are we are adding the height as 12, because 12 months, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12. If you see here, right, you will have 12 rows, and the height is 12. So since you have selected 12 rows, right, the height is 12 and one column. So using that formula, we have found the addition of 2858. So this is another example using offset, negative offsets. Okay, from the cell reference A13. So from December, we are trying to find the total of sales of East. So from December, we have to move to 132. What did we do? Did we move to 132? So yeah, so from the same cell, second is 0. So we are not moving any rows, and we are getting to the fourth column, and from the fourth column we are giving a negative height. So we are adding 12 rows negative, the previous 12 rows, so using negatives numbers, and we are adding only single column, since East is only one column, and we are finding the total of all the sales of East. So this is one thing. So next we are going to refresh data forms. So data forms is a way to add data using using a form. Instead of typing data here manually, we'll have a data, and we'll add data validation on top of that. Okay, so what so we'll first remove this. So you won't find the form option here usually. So it is rarely used, and they don't give it in Excel by default. So we have to add it to the quick access toolbar manually. So go here, click on the quick access toolbar, more commands, go to commands not in the ribbon, okay, and if you draw down, you'll see form, form. Yeah, so click on it, add it to the right. So adding it to the right will add it to the quick access toolbar. So if you don't see any toolbars here, and click OK. Okay, so now click OK. You will see the data form I will populate it here. So now click on the table. Now we created a table, right? So we already created a table using that. So there is a table, and we have all those records. And for this record, I mean for all the records, for two records we added some validation, right? So if you see here, right, go to data, uh, data validation. So we have added a data validation for this column. So we want to have only 18 rows. Only people we want people to be registered who are only above 18. Okay, so this is one validation, and another validation is here. So if you click on here, so you want to register on the years only between in the year 2020. So any other date we won't be able to accept it. So that's what we saw. If you want to add a new row, right, so when you click new, Rob, maybe we'll give random name. Quickly we'll give, okay, country. So if you give 1/12/2020 and enter, so you are too small to register because your age is not there. So you click enter 12. You're too small to register still. So if you enter 19, you will have the record added. So we are given two proper data, and we have the data record already. So that's it. Okay. So we'll wrap up with this. Okay, so thanks for attending, and let me